You have waited so long for this moment, but what if you say the wrong thing? That first call from your estranged child could change everything. Don't let fear or emotion sabotage this chance to reconnect with them. I want to be able to guide you through the exact steps to handle this life-changing moment with your adult child, and I want you to be able to handle it with some grace and confidence. And so I just want you to remember that as a mom, your one job is to take care of yourself. So let's dive in. Number one, whether you have a text message or a phone call, try to schedule the call if possible. If you have an opportunity to schedule your meeting, let's do that. Why? Whether it was an unexpected call, which you'll have to deal with, or maybe it's a short reply to a text you had sent or an email. But if you can schedule that follow-up, it allows both of you to approach the conversation with intention. You're going to have time to prepare emotionally, and so will they. Because I guarantee you, they're just as nervous as you are. How to handle that? I want you to be very calm, peaceful, and I want you to mention to them, obviously, a truth that you're glad to hear from them. And if you have the opportunity, like I said, would it be okay if we scheduled a time to talk more? Because I want to give you my full attention. Maybe you're at work, maybe you're busy with something, but I want to make sure that we both have a space to share and catch up more. If they say yes, great. So if they respond to a text, maybe you're saying, thanks for responding. I really appreciate it. Again, could we schedule that time to talk more? I'd love to catch up when you're ready. No pressure. And they may not respond right away, and that's okay. Now, if anger arises on their side, based on my experience coaching hundreds of moms, the first conversation usually brings out some type of anger from the estranged child. They may be venting, they may need to express emotions that they've been holding in, could possibly be the emotions that made them walk away. Okay? So what is your response with that? Stay calm. Don't match their tone. Don't react defensively. Do not get defensive whatsoever. Let them express whatever they need to say. This is about listening, not solving everything at once. This whole situation is not going to be solved in one call. But why is it worth it? Even if the call starts with anger or pain, it's still a step towards healing your relationship and healing your family. So let's have some patience and try to understand where they're coming from. Over time, those deeper conversations will happen. Have limited expectations on what that call is going to look like. Number two, stay calm and composed. It's important because when the emotional moments happen and they start escalating, you just need to take some deep breaths and stay calm so you can focus on the connection and not the conflict. The connection and not the conflict. There's likely going to be some words that you don't want to hear, one way or the other, right? So taking that deep breath, thinking before you reply, avoid overwhelming them. And don't be indifferent. Don't have a chip on your shoulder. Don't have an attitude. Don't feel like you're putting some guilt trip on them. Silence can be very awkward sometimes, right? Don't feel the rush to fill the gap. Silence is okay. But what I want you to avoid in that is I don't want you to react emotionally to their words, even if they're critical. Do not raise your voice. Do not interrupt. Do not push for immediate explanations of XYZ and why this happened and why did you do this and why did you say that. This is some tough love today, you guys, because so many of the moms in my group and the moms that I'm coaching one-on-one, I'm seeing so many breakthroughs. This here is the stuff that we talk about in my group. And if you're interested in learning how to navigate that next step for the moms that are at that point in their journey, and I believe you're all going to get to that point in your journey and you need to be prepared for that, even if you don't see it right now. So if that's you, you've tried other things, you're looking for some coaching, if you want to talk to me about the coaching options, click the link below for the discovery call. I'd love to hear from you. All right, number 3, focus on listening, not fixing. We always want to fix everything, right? This call is likely a super vulnerable moment for them, and they may just want to be heard rather than have their problem solved or the past analyzed. When you have that in mind, you can even say things like, I hear you saying this has been hard for you, and I understand that, and I understand why you might feel that way. You don't have to go into, do you have any idea how hard this has been on me? even though that's true. It is super important. One day you will be able to share that, but this first conversation is probably not the time. So don't jump in with advice, even if it feels helpful, right? So don't shift the focus to your pain, like I said, because this call is about them. And if you're not ready for that, then I wouldn't take the call. So you need to prepare yourself. You need to heal yourself. You need to take care of yourself first so you are ready for this call. That's the whole point of this. So number 4 is gratitude. We have to keep this positive. Showing gratitude for their effort to connect with you, it reinforces their decision to reach out. It's going to set a positive tone for future communication with you. So you might even be able to say, thank you so much for reaching out. It is so good to hear from you. I love you. It can just be super light like that. We just need to keep it light and focused on connection rather than, we don't need to go into all the heavy topics. Because I know you have them. We all do. We all have the heavy topics, that the elephant in the room. But we need to avoid guilt tripping. So we don't want to say, it's about time you called. You might be thinking that, but that's not what we say. Those unresolved issues, like I said, when the relationship feels more stable, you'll be able to dive into some of that stuff. And lastly, ending the call with an open invitation. Why? Because if you can leave the door open for future communication, it's going to show that you're willing to go at their pace. They might be testing you to see like where you're at. Has mom healed? Has mom done any work on herself? Some of you don't want to hear that, but this is so true. And I'm raising my hand because that was me too. You could end this conversation on a very positive note saying, I'd love to hear from you again when you're ready. Doesn't have to be this huge ordeal like, are you going to be here for Christmas for the next 3 years? We have to be really realistic here. One thing you could do is if they seem hesitant about further contact, you could say, you know what? I just want you to know I'm here when you're ready. And I'm not trying to pressure you whatsoever. And again, like I said, there might be some time in between now and the next conversation, but you have a lot of control over this conversation and the direction it goes. So setting some expectations for frequent communication, I would not do, because unless they're the ones suggesting it. If they suggest it, fantastic. So my final thoughts here, again, this was all done in love. This was some tough love for you, but this is a moment for you to step forward, no matter how small, whether you have this new communication with your child, or you know that it's coming, you feel it's coming, you're right on that precipice of that, or maybe you just need to prepare for it, because we need to believe that this relationship is going to be healed. So you're showing them that you're committed to healing the relationship, right? By doing all of these things that I mentioned. So it's not easy. I'm not going to lie. It's not easy, but you can practice it. I hope that helps. God bless. I'll see you next time.